I've been selling in the life sciences for 10 plus years, and in just the last 2.5 years, I've worked with over 90 biotech and pharma companies to help them build consistent pipeline and close more deals. And through all this, I've seen the same mistake made over and over and over again that keep great products, services, and tech from getting into the hands of those scientists and ultimately impacting patients' lives. That's exactly why I'm making this video, and I'm going to condense the last 10 plus years into the most important actions and activities that you can carry out that really move the needle on pipeline and revenue generation. This is going to impact all life science companies, so you're going to want to listen in. Let's dive straight in. I'm going to give you 5 lessons, and they're going to cover everything from sales training to lead generation, so you're going to want to pay attention to everyone. The first one we're going to go through is traditional life science sales is broken. This is lesson number 1. The data's out on life science companies, and it don't look great. So only 43% of reps hit their quota last year, and only 60% of companies met their revenue expectations. So then what happens? Company bring in sales training to fix it all, but it doesn't really work, right? In the life sciences, standard sales training does not work. 90% of sales training is forgotten within the first 7 days, and it just doesn't fit our needs. So a few of the reasons why this is happening. Most training is one size fits all. Doesn't matter whether you're an experienced rep or a newbie. It doesn't take into consideration whether you've been doing it 20 years or 10 minutes. It's run by consultants that haven't sold in decades. They don't know our problems and they don't know our industry. Plus, it's only done once. It's never reinforced. And as we've spoken about, that forgetting curve, it comes in and all of that knowledge is gone within a week to 30 days. You've remembered a very small percentage of it. So repetition is key. And you also need to use sales training that is specific to the life science industries. We're selling to scientists. We're selling very technical people. They are smart people when they understand great scientific concepts. They're going to be able to understand the sales concepts, but they really need to learn them in the context of their industry. So things like spin selling and challenger selling, they're great and they're great techniques, but they need to be taken into the complexity of the life science market. So what actually works? You want to keep things short, focused, and learn one skill at a time. And you want to be able to digest what is sales content into the scientific industry and present it in a way and sell in a way that scientists are going to react. We can't be just giving a textbook, a data book, and expecting people to digest it. We actually have to sell, but that doesn't mean we can behave like a second-hand car salesman and just throw out sales jargon. We really need to take both concepts and blend them together to make this successful for the life science industry. Lesson 2, science and sales are completely different. So many life science teams are built up of technical specialists that made the move from lab to commercial without any formal sales training. These people have incredible technical knowledge and they can go toe-to-toe with your customers and your KOLs on all of those technical capabilities, but they've never had any formal training, and this sets them up for a challenge when it comes to actually selling those capabilities. And you see the same patterns over and over again. They talk about product capabilities and technicalities instead of customer problems. They ask surface level discovery questions instead of digging deeper into the pains and the problems of the client. Or they give away too much information before they've even qualified whether this potential customer is actually a fit for you and your company. And they also struggle to focus on the kind of business outcomes, the actual selling of the business. They don't focus on things like time savings, cost reduction, getting to clinic faster, all of these things that scientists and their customers care about. So what's the fix? It's something we call skill stacking. You can't just throw them in the deep end. We need to build on these things slowly. So you need to think like portfolio, where you're going to build and build and build on top of layer of layer. And we're going to do this. We're going to start with the fundamentals. So we're going to do things like territory planning, generating pipeline, discovery calls. Then we're going to layer on things like presenting, deal management, networking, whatever these skills may be. And we can bring each person up from wherever they are gradually, level by level. And this compounds over time. And also there's repetition built in. So we don't have that forgetting curve, and we can actually compound some serious knowledge and some serious skills that they can add to their technical capabilities. By the way, if you're watching this and you're thinking your team might have some of these gaps and that you could do with what we're talking about, we do offer free strategy calls where we'll jump on a call with you and figure out where exactly your gaps are and how we can help you solve them. If that's interesting to you, links in the description, feel free to book a call. But for now, back to the video. Lesson 3, most life science companies don't know how to do outbound, prospecting, outbound, whatever you want to call it. What most companies do wrong with outbound is they send generic bulk messaging. We call this the spam cannon. Just load it up, fire off to everyone. They think personalization is something like, hey, I saw your work at Pfizer. And they use the same approach for every persona, like pharma toxicology or academic cause, and they'll do it for the VP versus the scientist. Everyone gets the same message. So what's the first fix? Be more precise. You want to create hyper-targeted lists based on specific application areas, therapeutic areas, seniority, interest, events, whatever this may be, and then have messaging that is scientifically accurate, relevant to their specific role and to their specific need. Then you want to use unique data points as personalization, not just their name and company. Anyone can do that now. The second fix is timing. Most reps reach out randomly and compete with every other vendor's attention. Instead of using things like signals, this is things like news announcements, hiring activity, publications just announced, job changes, upcoming events, things that tell you something about your potential buyer and what phase and what interest mode they're in. The third fix is multiple channels. Just doing this through one channel alone, whether that channel channel is being at a conference, is an email, is LinkedIn ads, sending snail mail, whatever it may be. One channel alone does not work. You need to be everywhere to everybody so they know you and think of you when they need you. So you want to layer on LinkedIn, phone calls, direct mail, email, all at the same time, reaching out to people with different channels and different messages to make sure that your company, your image resonates with them most when they need you. And remember, in life sciences, you're reaching out to scientists. They can tell when a generic sales outreach hits them from a mile away. So your messaging needs to demonstrate that you're scientifically knowledgeable, you actually understand the world they live in and the pain and the language they speak. This will stand you out above everybody else. Lesson 4, your pipeline problem is usually a prospecting problem. When deals aren't closing, most leaders look to the bottom of the funnel. They focus on closing techniques. Why are we not closing more of these deals? Why is this deal dropped out at the late stage? Rather than focusing on the pipeline generation. They start running deal reviews and they can't figure out why they have such low win rates. But what I've learned and what we've learned as a company is that it's almost never a problem. The bottom of the funnel, it's at the top. Reps don't have enough pipeline to begin with. So if an opportunity falls out, that could be a third of their target gone. Whereas if they had 10 more opportunities, it's 10 more bites of the cherry. So they chase every deal because they don't have enough pipeline. Even the ones that were never going to close in the first place, they didn't maybe do the discovery well enough. And now we're looking at chasing deals and wasting our time on people that never intend to buy. So this is because they're getting desperate and they won't walk away from a company even if it's a bad fit opportunity. So that's not a closing problem, that's a prospecting problem. The maths, depending on where you're from, is simple. If you have 10 deals to hit quota and you have a 25% win rate, that means you need 40 qualified opportunities in your pipeline at any one time. But most revs don't have anywhere near close to that, and then they wonder why they're missing their quotas. So the first thing is, you need to make your prospecting non-negotiable. First, as I already explained, get clear on your ideal customer profile so that you're not wasting time on bad fit clients. If you know what the ideal profile is and someone comes through the door, you can quickly assess them, either they're in the pipe or they're out. And you want to do prospecting every single day, not just when your pipeline looks thin. That's why you get something that looks like this and it goes up and down. It's because every time your pipe gets low, you prospect like crazy and you fill your pipe, then you start to close stuff and everything drops off. If you do this every day consistently, you get a nice consistent pipeline with plenty of opportunity. And then make sure to track your activity and your conversion rates too, so you know what's working and what's not. Not everything works for every product and not everything works with every message. You need to be testing and then assessing the results. More pipelines means you can be selective as well. When you're selective, your win rate goes up. So if you start to discount the bad fit, they're not in your process rate, your win rate goes up and you're focusing your energy on the people you can actually close because they're a good fit customer. Lesson number 5, message market fit is everything. So we all talk about product market fit and we know what that means, but what about message market fit? You can have the best product in the world, but if your messaging doesn't resonate, you'll still struggle. When we think of product market fit, this is, if I give my product to the right customer who's in need, will they buy it? Yes, I have product market fit. That's great. And many people then move forward with that and think, well, this is going to be easy to sell via email, via LinkedIn, via the marketing, because everybody wants this thing. But they've failed to consider message market fit. And message market fit is, how can I get the thing that everyone loves about my product and the pain and the challenge for each individual ICP into a message that's maybe 100, 150 words, sometimes less, and have it resonate. That's message market fit. And you need to do, as I said before, lots of testing to find out which one of those are going to hit, and then you can scale it. How do we actually find message market fit? First, we test different value propositions with different segments. So we get a multitude of segments, and then we alpha beta test a multitude of value propositions, and we see which one resonates. We're all scientists, we assess the data, and we see what's working. We like to run parallel campaigns to see what resonates. One of our clients tested 4 completely different market segments at the same time. Turns out one of those segments performed 5 times better than all the others. That insight didn't just change the way their outbound was run, it actually drove the focus of their entire marketing strategy and actually what they built out some additional parts to their product offering to really facilitate that ICP. So this data can be really powerful. And the lesson here is simple. Don't assume you know what will resonate, because you probably don't. You have an idea, maybe, but you could be proved wrong and to the benefit of your company. Instead, let the marketing and the sales process and the data from that tell you what works, and then follow that signal. Double down on what's working and really start to power it up and take advantage of that data. Now, if you want to go deeper on any of these topics, whether it's building out lead generation engine that actually works and drives opportunities, or if it's sales training so you can understand and train your team in how to close more deals yourself, then click the first link in the description below. We'll help you figure out where the gaps are, how to fix them, so you can start to close more deals that actually help you hit your number. So again, click that link, book your call. And if you want to see how to get 20 or more biotech sales meetings each month, then click the link here to watch this video next.